Friday will have occasional sun, slight chance of snow, high near 29. Friday night, mainly cloudy, slight chance of light snow, low near 15. Occasional sun Saturday, high 34. That's your forecast on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. Right now, it's 18.
This is where South Dakota sports fans come for real South Dakota sports talk. Welcome to SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown. From East River to West River, high school to college to the pros. This is your sports talk show that covers it all. And now, on Kim Radio, talk that matters. The host of SD Sports Buzz Tonight, here's Nate Brown.
Well, how you doing? Hope everybody's a little bit warmer. I mean, I know it gets cold at night here in these parts, but we're a little bit warmer. And, of course, it's basketball season. We could tell that over the past week weather. There's no doubt. We're going to jump right into the high school scene. High school basketball getting underway this week. Glad to be back here in the studio on Kim Radio, Rapid City's talk station, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. We welcome you in Rapid City in the Black Hills. Also, worldwide streaming online. You can watch the show live at SDSportsBuzz.com. Glad to have you on board there as well. South Dakota's #1 sports website. We've got it jam-packed tonight over the next 2 hours, and as I said, a heavy focus on high school hoops and the major players coming into the show tonight, including Larry Luchins. Larry Legend, man, this guy, the winningest coach in South Dakota high school basketball, will be done at the end of this year. This is his final year. But Larry Luchins back for one more year. And I will tell you, Custer on the boys' side is going to be a little bit salty. We'll talk to Larry Luchins tonight, one of the all-time South Dakota greats. His nemesis there in the Black Hills Conference over the past decade has been Dave Hollenbeck. And I say nemesis, but boy, they've had a great rivalry over the years. Luchins has got Hollenbeck a few times. Hollenbeck has gotten Luchins as of late. But even when Custer and St. Thomas More, you never know, even when one of their teams is better on paper, it turns out you never know how those games are going to go. Dave Hollenbeck coming on the program tonight. St. Thomas More head coach also on the show tonight. St. Thomas More's Brandon Candlin, the girls head basketball coach tonight. And then, speaking of a dominant team and a great coach who's also building a heck of a program, Eldon Marshall down at White River. White River, one of those teams in Class B over the years, you could just mark them up. They're going to be #1. They're going to be in the state title hunt. I don't know if we can say that this year, but I will tell you, White River will be a surprise, even after losing pretty much everybody from last year's state championship team. White River going to surprise a few folks. It's just it's a program that really has been built very, very well. Eldon Marshall from White River coming on tonight to talk high school B hoops, and then of the AA ranks, Stevens getting a lot of attention, and the Raiders, I think, getting a lot of attention. Why? Well, they have one of the best guards in South Dakota, Steven Schaefer, and then around him, good unit. There's some nice role players that fit the bill. They can get up and down. They're good defensively. That's Darius Buss, the head coach of the Raiders. That's his MO, defense, aggressive man-to-man defense. Darius Buss, head coach of Rapid City Stevens, coming on the show tonight. And then we'll also talk to Zach Horseman. Zach Horseman, former Mr. Basketball South Dakota, and at South Dakota State, where the Jacks off to a little bit of a rough start on the men's side after losing, of course, their great player, Nate Wolters, who's now making an impact in the NBA. I don't know if a lot of people thought Wolters would make such an impact in the early going as he is already in his rookie season. The Jacks obviously missing Wolters. I think they will turn the corner a little bit. Zach Horseman coming on the show. He is from Winter. He had a great high school career. Now with the South Dakota State Jackrabbits, they just lost last night to Minnesota. But again, pretty tough schedule in the early going here. Cody Larson coming in double digits right now. We'll see how that Jackrabbits team can turn the page. Zach Horseman coming on in our Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight. Busy show tonight, as you can tell. And the aforementioned Brandon Candlin, head coach of the St. Thomas More girls. That's kind of where I want to start in the opening buzz tonight before we get to Zach Horseman in our Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight up next. Brandon Candlin and the St. Thomas More girls, kind of the talk of the town and the talk of South Dakota high school sports. after last night. Why is that? And I don't know if it's rightfully so or not, but obviously a big headline coming out of their opening win last night at Hot Springs. The final score, the number one ranked STM girls beat Hot Springs 90-6, and I don't know how many people have talked to me about it today. There's been a lot, and I've heard it on the news. I heard it all over the place on the radio. Everyone's wondering, well, what happened there? The St. Thomas More girls beat Hot Springs 90-6, and if you're quick to judge and you look in the paper, you look at the score, you see it on the news last night, 90-6, and you just look at the score, you say, well, that's just outrageous. That's just terrible, right? And I've heard that today, and you have to look into it deeper, and that's what I wanted to do as I started the show here tonight, because when you look into this situation, this game actually, obviously a very tough scenario for both coaches and both teams. Obviously, Hot Springs is not at the level that they want to be. St. Thomas More is at another level. St. Thomas More, a lot better in girls basketball, and you heard Caitlin Duffy say it here last week. Of course, she used to play at St. Thomas More. She's now at Colorado State. She thinks this St. Thomas More girls team could be the best in the entire state, no matter the class, and she might be onto something. So that's the type of discrepancy you're looking at. A really great team and a team that's struggling. It came into a recipe last night that, a recipe for disaster. Why? Well, Brandon Candlin, head coach of the Cavaliers, took out all of his starters, took out all of his players, didn't go full court press. I mean, did everything that you need to do to try and not embarrass an opponent, to try and make sure that you're respecting the game. They did all of that, and it still went badly. It still went awry. So don't quite look at that score and say, oh, it's just. I think obviously it is an anomaly. It is something that gets people's attention. But when you dig into it, when you look into it further, as a head basketball coach, as a basketball fan, what do you want? We don't want to see games like that, obviously, but what do you want to do? Do you ever tell your players to stop shooting? I sure hope not. Do you ever tell your players to don't play hard, especially on the defensive end? I sure hope not. So the fact of the matter is, when you look at the number 2s and the number 3s that come into the ballgame for St. Thomas More, these reserves, they want to play even harder than obviously Hot Springs would want them to play. So they want to play harder. They're looking to get a spot on that top upper echelon group at St. Thomas More. So when he brings in his backups, they're not going to take it easy. They're going to play harder. They're trying to fight for a spot on a great team and a great program. So it's just a very tough deal, a very, very tough deal. And I want to point that out, that it wasn't just a full court press, double teams, all game, starters, all the great players that St. Thomas More has, and just embarrassing Hot Springs. That wasn't the story. The story was bad recipe. A Hot Springs struggling team at this point, a very, very good St. Thomas More team, maybe one of the best we've ever seen. And I know the season very, very early, but we're talking some college-level players and numerous ones on that St. Thomas More girls team. It's a bad recipe there, obviously a very tough matchup. And I say it a tough scenario for both coaches, both sets of fans. Why? Well, Hot Springs, what can they do? They're not at that level right now. And what can St. Thomas More do? They're not going to stop shooting, stop playing. That's not how the game goes. It obviously didn't turn out the way anybody wanted it to, but don't overreact to it. That's my point here tonight. It is SD Sports Buzz tonight. We'll get to Brandon Candlin, get his reaction. I just want to hear from the head coach himself. I don't want to speak for him, but hear from the head coach. What was that like for him last night? Believe me, I'm sure it wasn't too enjoyable. Everybody thinks, running up the score is a lot of fun. I'm thinking he probably didn't enjoy himself too much as it got out of hand. Darius Buss coming up, Stevens head coach. But first, our Benson Sports Training player spotlight tonight. We'll go out to South Dakota State. Men's basketball player, former Winter Warrior and Mr. Basketball South Dakota, Zach Horseman, joins me live next here with Nate Brown on SD Sports Buzz tonight.
Getting you inside South Dakota sports. This is SD Sports Buzz tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. When it comes to shopping for a used vehicle, you can find good, you can find reliable, and you can find affordable. But it isn't too often that you find all three in one vehicle, except when you shop at Pro Auto Care. At Pro Auto Care, all vehicles are inspected and serviced on-site by ASE certified auto technicians, so you know your vehicle will be reliable. And they're affordable too, many priced under $4,000. Check them out at Pro Auto Care, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City, 342-0857.
Every week, you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
Do you have a healthy heart? People of all ages can have serious heart problems, so how can you be sure? Get peace of mind when you see Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular. With a full battery of cardiovascular test procedures, Dr. Von Whitley can thoroughly assess your heart health and recommend any procedures or lifestyle changes that might be needed. Because Dakota Cardiovascular is an independent clinic, you'll receive a thorough personalized evaluation with no time constraints. Schedule your appointment with Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular PC in Rapid City. Phone 341-1300.
It seems the more we grow up, the more we're responsible for. Family, work, the environment. That's why Subaru redesigned the 2014 Forester inside and out, so you can handle it all. It has road-gripping symmetrical all-wheel drive and now gets a fuel-efficient 32 miles per gallon highway. Introducing the all-new 2014 Forester, a vehicle versatile enough for all you are responsible for. Stop into Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com and see all that Subaru has to offer.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, 50, want to get 200 to 50 here, no 75, 275 now, 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
Smoking Gun Shooting Range and Training Center is now open for business. It's Western South Dakota's only indoor public shooting facility and offers 12 lanes of the latest technology for pistol, rifle, and shotgun live firing, and a virtual live training simulator with hundreds of scenarios. They also offer firearms instruction, ammo, accessories, new and used firearms, and gun rentals to try before you buy. Call Smoking Gun Range and Training Center, 791-3656, and check them out at SmokingGunSD.com.
Don't miss out on a full stock of 22, 223, and handgun ammo on hand now.
Night falls and I'm alone. Skin chill me to the bone.
Welcome back. South Dakota Sports Talk Show, jam-packed tonight. 2 hours of the biggest South Dakota sports newsmakers. Nate Brown on SDSportsBuzz.com, live streaming there in HD, also live here on our radio home. Kim Radio, Rapid City's talk station, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM. Glad to have you on board. Coming up, Larry Luchins, Custer head coach, longtime head coach, and this will be his last season at the helm. All-time winningest coach in South Dakota high school basketball history. Larry Luchins coming up. Custer, I think it'll be pretty salty in the Black Hills Conference. Obviously, they've been tested recently and haven't been able to pass the test against St. Thomas More, and St. Thomas More's head coach Dave Hollenbeck coming up on the way this hour as well. The Cavaliers shut out of the state tournament last year, but they've been state champions numerous times recently. They've been the team to beat in Class A basketball. It's a bit of a Class A guy. Class A guy, man. It wasn't too long ago, but now he's already a 6'6" junior at South Dakota State. But back in the day, he was Mr. Basketball in South Dakota, an all-stater, took the Winter Warriors to the state tournament. Zach Horseman, now a jackrabbit out at South Dakota State in our Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight, featuring some of the best in South Dakota. And Zach Horseman fits the bill, no doubt about it. BensonSportsTraining.com, where you want to go. If you think you can be a college-level athlete, or do you think you're at that level, well, take the next step and go work with Scott Benson at BensonSportsTraining.com. That's where you want to get started. College athlete Zach Horseman joining us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Zach, it's good to talk to you again. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me on, Nate.
Yeah, thanks for giving us some time. I know, you in your junior year, obviously, a different player now. You've been in this program a while. Want to ask you kind of about your progression here. It's been a learning curve for you early in your career. Now you're starting to feel things out. Obviously, you guys have a lot of good players. It's kind of a balanced team. But talk about your progression in this program. Where you want to be? Where do you need to get better as you get in your junior year here early going?
Yeah. Well, coming out of high school, in high school I was just asked to score and play the whole game, and had to do a lot for our team. Now, as a junior this year, kind of just more of a role guy. Get in 2 or 3 minutes at a time, just play my butt off, and basically I'm just kind of asked to bring energy and kind of make some of the tough plays, get on the floor, set good screens, rebound, play good defense, and that's what's going to get me on the floor this year. And I feel like I've been doing that for the most part of this entire year.
Hey, Zach, is it tough to do that? I mean, when you came from Winter, you're the man, you're Mr. Basketball. You shared that with Liam Duffy out here at St. Thomas More. You had obviously a great career, and then trying to fit into a role because it's a different level. We all know how good this Jackrabbit basketball program has been. Is it tough to learn, hey, at 2-3 minutes at a time, I try and, I got to get in a rhythm here, or I got to do some good things. How tough is that?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. My freshman, sophomore year, I was kind of frustrated because, playing 30 minutes a game and then coming and playing, maybe 8 or 9 a game, that's quite a difference. But now I understand, and I'm not asked to score a lot. So, the offense, I'll just let that take care of itself. And what I really need to focus on is defense and rebounding. And, as in high school, I was asked to do score 20 a game, get other people involved, and now I'm just really focused on doing my role and do what's best for our team.
Zach Horseman, South Dakota State Jackrabbit, former Winter Warrior, and our Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight, brought to you by BensonSportsTraining.com. Scott Benson here in Rapid City, getting athletes to the next level. Zach, I want to ask you what everybody's wondering. Nate Wolters, of course, your leader over the past couple of years, goes into the NBA, making an impact right away. How closely are you watching his career, man? This has got to be kind of neat for you.
Yeah, well, every time we get a chance, if we get out of practice early or something at night, whole team gets together in the lounge area of our locker room, and we get on NBA TV. And there for a while, it was really fun when he was starting and playing 30 minutes a game, and we were probably louder than the Bucks Arena in our locker room. So it's been a lot of fun following him this year, and we're all really proud of him.
Hey, Zach, how badly, this is probably an understatement, but how badly do you miss his scoring? Did you expect that there would be this gap? Because I know you guys are having guys fill in. It's more of a balanced attack. I think you got 4 guys in double digits right now, and I wonder how badly you're missing his go-to scoring.
Yeah, well, it's definitely been different for us. We're not playing the same style as we did last year. It's just kind of been a learning experience right now. We brought in, Cody Larson, new to the program. He's just trying to feel things out right now. Then Jake went down after 2 games into the season, and then Anders had to fill in for him. And we can't just give it to Nate at the end of the shot clock and tell him to go off a high pick and roll and make a play. We got to run more motion, get open, and we're really trying to work the ball inside to Cody and Jordan and Marcus, because that's where we feel our strength is right now.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You guys are 4-7. You just lost last night to Minnesota. You've played some good teams, but are you guys frustrated with the start here? I know you've had some bumps along the road, but you know what it's all about is conference play and getting into that. Making. Getting into the conference tournament, making things happen there. But is it frustrating right now in the early going, or are you guys just kind of feeling your way around with a guy like Cody Larson new and guys trying to step into different roles?
Yeah, well, we're definitely not happy with our start. Minnesota was a little better last night, but like the Stanford game and Santa Barbara game, we just didn't compete very well, and that's been a real big focus of our team the last couple of weeks. Coach Nagy, in practice, we're getting after it, and we're constantly working on getting loose balls, getting on the floor, picking your teammate up, just doing all those little things, because we weren't doing those at the first few games of the year, and we just thought we could walk out on the floor, hit some threes, and hang with teams, and we got blown out at Santa Barbara and Stanford. So we're not happy, but we're working on it, and it was definitely improvement last night in Minnesota. Not where we want to be, but we're getting there.
Zach Horseman joining us in the Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight tonight, brought to you by BensonSportsTraining.com. Zach Horseman Jr. For the Jackrabbits. They're 4-7 and former Winter Warrior on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. How tired are you of hearing before the year started and in the offseason, this team, they have a lot of guys back, but boy, they're missing that big guy. Walters is out of there. They just aren't going to be as good. North Dakota State's going to be the team. I know you guys heard that a lot. Has that been an internal motivation in there?
I don't know. It's kind of nice to, not be talked about all the time as a favorite, because last year it felt like, after we won the conference tournament, it felt like more of a relief than, excitement. Like the first year when we were kind of the underdogs, and last year we were expected to win, and, I had to come to play every night. And so I think this year it's going to be a lot more fun. Everybody, thinks that we're not very good, and especially after our start, they're really going to be thinking that. So, I think it's a little bit of motivation for us.
What do you think is the biggest key right now when you look at your guys? I kind of talked about it a little bit as I've watched you. I've seen a few of your games. Guys just trying to fit roles. I know, and you're trying to work it inside out. It seems like that right now anyway. What do you think is the biggest key for this team to gel, to get things going? Because I think you got the talent, man. You got a lot of guys that can play. Yeah,
we definitely have the talent to win at this level. And right now, we have great shooters like Chad and Anders and Braden, just not making threes like they're capable of doing and usually do. And, I know Chad's kind of struggling right now, and he'll get that going, though, pretty soon. And that's kind of been the downfall for us, is we're just not shooting the ball great from the perimeter, and that's why we're trying to get inside more, create more inside-out stuff, get a couple buckets in the post, kick it back out for threes. But I think the biggest part for us is just coming on the floor every night and playing harder than the other team, and really guarding and rebounding and getting on the floor and taking charges and all that little stuff. And then I think we'll be where we want to be.
Of course, you're getting ready for conference play. Does it change a little bit when you get into conference games? Does the mindset change a little bit?
Yeah. Well, the schedule gets a little more. You get in more of a groove. You just play Thursday, Saturdays. Like right now, we might leave on a Sunday and we might not get back till Friday. That's kind of hard for a little bit there. But, yeah, I think, it's kind of a new season, and you can kind of start over, and all that really matters then is your conference record and then where you stand in the conference.
All right, man, I'm going to let you run with this. A little high school trivia for you, and I don't know how plugged you are. I know all you winter guys, man, you got Warrior pride. I don't know what that's all about. It is crazy. You're retweeting stuff, and everybody's tweeting things. I mean, once you're a Winter Warrior, I guess you're always a Winter Warrior. So I ask you about this. On the girls' side, in high school hoops here, the season just gets going this week. Sounds like that Winter girls team is going to be pretty good. Am I right or wrong, or aren't you quite plugged in?
My sister actually is a sophomore on that team, so I've been hearing quite a bit about it. I think they're going to be pretty talented. They're they got second, obviously, in volleyball this year. They got a lot of athletic girls, and sounds like they really drilled Wagner last night, so that was good. But, yeah, I think they'll be really competitive, and I'll be tuning in more this year, obviously, as my sister is playing more as a sophomore this year for them.
Yeah, that's very good. That's very good. I know Winter drilled Wagner, but they didn't beat them like St. Thomas More beat Hot Springs. Did you see that final last night?
No, I didn't see that.
90-6. So, yeah, that's kind of tough. That's kind of tough. But I will say, we all know how good St. Thomas More is going to be this year as well. So that would be fun if we saw St. Thomas More Winter title game. I know we've seen that on the football field, on the gridiron a little bit. You never know what will happen in girls' hoops. I think Winter going to be a team that people aren't quite thinking about. And I won't say that you plugged them into that state tournament yet, but it sounds like you think they're going to be pretty good. So we'll see how it goes from here. Zach, I wish you the best of luck, man. I know you guys are just getting going. You've already played a lot of games, but conference plays when it counts. We'll keep an eye on things. I sure appreciate you coming on.
All right, thanks for having me, Nate.
You bet. Zach Horstman, always good to talk to. One of the great South Dakota players now at South Dakota State in his junior year. The 6'6" guy making an impact with the Jacks in the Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight. Again, brought to you by BensonSportsTraining.com. Do you think you could be a college-level athlete? Hey, parents, do you think your son or daughter could be a player at the next level? Get started and take the next step. Go to BensonSportsTraining.com. Scott Benson's the guy that has helped athletes get to that next level, helped athletes, all state athletes. And let me tell you, Scott Benson has put in the time. He will make sure that your athlete takes full advantage of their athletic potential and builds them on their way. Scott Benson at Benson Sports Training, the guy you want to work with. Again, appreciate Zach Horstman coming on, the South Dakota State junior, in our Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight, brought to you by BensonSportsTraining.com, where you want to go. High school hoops focus tonight. We'll start Stevens. The boys, I think they're going to be pretty good. The Raiders, one of the top 5 teams in the preseason poll in AA basketball. Their head coach is Darius Buss, and he joins me live next with a preview.
At Mel's Auto Body, we are committed to providing complete customer satisfaction through our repairs, competitive prices, and old-fashioned personalized service. This is Kevin Rohrbach. For 25 years, our family has been dedicated to returning your vehicle to its like-new condition. We use state-of-the-art equipment, highly trained techs, and work with all insurance companies to get the job done right, 100% guaranteed. Remember, you have the right to choose your body shop. We hope you choose Mel's Auto Body, located under the Big Red M on South Valley Drive in Rapid City. Check us out online at melsautobody.com.
You've got it locked on South Dakota's sports talk show, SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
Plain and simple, we fix cars. Our system works. This is Denny from Al's D&I Repair. Our business is all about fixing cars. Plain and simple. Car repair is hard to understand and sometimes intimidating. That's where we can help. For over 30 years, we've been maintaining and repairing our customers' cars and now their children's cars. Our system works. Our advisors stay in close contact with our techs stay current with the industry, and our shop has equipment and resources others do not. What's important to you is important to us. Your car is an investment, and I guarantee you, we will treat it as such in helping you stay informed and making sense of a complex piece of equipment. Whether its nameplate is European, USA, or Asian, we can take care of it. Plain and simple, we fix cars. We're Al's D&I Repair. Please call us when you have a need at 348-1447.
Take your car to Al's Domestic and Import Repair. They can repair it correctly regardless of the brand of car. The only shortcut they take is in their name. Al's D&I Repair on Sturgis Road. Call 348-1447 to set up your appointment.
Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
You definitely can trust Tom and Carl and Chris. They are very good mechanics. They always do what's best for their customers and their customers' vehicles. They will always let you know the problems completely before they do any work on your vehicle. And since I've met Tom, I won't take my car anyplace but Pro Auto Care.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
It's hard to rely on my good intentions when my head's full of things that I can't mention. It seems I usually get everything's right, but I can't understand what I did last night.
Welcome back, SD Sports Buzz tonight. Jam-packed. High school hoops getting underway this week. And we've got you covered here. White River's Eldon Marshall coming up. Of course, he's built a dynasty down there in Class B boys basketball. White River losing everybody pretty much that's made an impact on the court, but we're going to see some new players, and I've already said it. I went out on a limb a little bit because a lot of people don't know how good White River's going to be. They lose Krogman and Cameron and, man, Morrison, all these guys that were so good. But I will tell you, Eldon Marshall and White River will be in the mix. They're not going to, over the past couple of years, you could kind of mark them down. If they didn't win the state title, something was going to be wrong. But I'll just say this, they're going to be in the mix. They're not going to just go away. That's my prediction. He's got some good guys on the JV team stepping into roles. So Eldon Marshall, White River's state champion head coach coming up. Dave Hollenbeck, speaking of a state champion, the Cavaliers have won a few. And Coach Hollenbeck on the way. Larry Luchin, same story there. His last year at the helm in Custer, and he joins us with a preview of the Wildcats season coming up. Busy show tonight. We'll go to the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Our next guest is a guy who wants to obviously win championships and bring some back to Rapid City Stevens. And I'll tell you, did a nice job last year in his first year. A lot of people thought, well, what are the Raiders going to have? And he had didn't have the biggest team. Had a very aggressive team, a good defensive team. Won some big games last year. And head coach of the Rapid City Stevens Raiders joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Darius Buss back on the program. Coach, good to talk to you. How are you?
Hey, not doing too bad. I'm doing real good right now with that lineup you got, Nate. I feel pretty fortunate to be on.
I got all the
lineup tonight.
I got all the major coaches, man, and you're kicking things off. So I know. Right. I want to ask you right away, how different is it for you going from, you come into your first year, you're meeting the kids, you're trying to figure out who's going to fit in where. How different is it here preparing for a second year in which you've got a lot of good guys back, man. You know what Steven Schaefer brings. You know what Vivkun brings. You know what Matt Wilson, these guys, McLeod. There's some guys that you've got and some pretty high expectations. A little different, it seems like, from year one to year two for you.
Well, yeah, it is. I mean, obviously, when you come in year one, we didn't have much experience last year. We knew the kids were real hard workers, and we knew those kids would put everything they got on the floor. But, it was a building phase last year, and we felt that it was going to take some time to kind of get rolling, which it did. And but we were really happy with the way the kids developed over the course of the season last year. And I'm really pleased with the way they developed over the off season. And we've had kids put a lot of time and effort into this program here in the last year and a half. And so we're excited about that, and it is different because, I think last year we might have flew under the radar a little bit, and teams might have thought that we lost a lot the year before, and we're rebuilding and might have some troubles, but I thought we competed very well last year, and we look to do that again this year.
Well, and you've got a guy like Steven Schaefer. I've been impressed with him the last couple of years. He's got a lot of experience, now a senior. You think he's one of the best players at all levels this year in high school hoops?
I do, and obviously I'm a little biased. I'm his coach, and Steven's a great kid, and he's really a team player. The one thing that makes him, I think, stand out amongst the better players in the state is he just makes everybody better around him. I mean, he's constantly looking for his teammates, and he just plays the game, and I think that's what separates him right now from a lot of kids. I mean, there's a lot of good players out there. But I feel that Steven's probably one of the best scorers, if not the best scorer in the state, at his position, and he maybe even at the guard position. But I just really like the way he approaches the game, and just a great teammate. And it's good because he's put the time in, and the kids really respect him, and it's got good chemistry.
What can you tell us about his college aspirations? What college level player is he?
He's going to play, somewhere, and I know him and his parents are they're visiting with numerous colleges and stuff, and My thing with Steven, and I've told coaches this at the Division I, Division II levels, NAIA levels, all levels. He's a competitor, and when he gets on the floor at whatever college he gets to, and they're fortunate enough to get him, he's going to compete for a spot. And it don't matter if it's Division I level, Division II. He's gonna be fine, and that's just because of his competitiveness, and he's really learned to get better in different areas of his game, defensively, rebounding. He's a great rebounder, and he's gotten better defensively, and so he's going to be fine. Wherever he goes, they're going to be lucky to have him, and he'll make an impact.
Darius Buss on the program tonight, Stevens boys head basketball coach as they get ready to kick off the season this weekend. He joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Seems like this team, again, fits your style, Coach. You had the reputation coming from Winter and the reputation of, good defense, focus on defense, aggressive. Seems like these guys kind of fit that bill. How excited are you about getting on the floor?
Yeah, it is exciting to have a team that has that persona. I just think the kids are I think they deserve pretty much all the credit because they just put it out there and they get after it. Coaches can preach that stuff, and coaches can get their system and maybe hopefully get it in place. But the kids have to execute it, and then they do a nice job and they work hard. And so when you're a defensive-minded coach and you really want to play physical and hard, and you got to have kids willing to do that, and I do, and I'm fortunate.
What's your reaction to being ranked in the preseason polls in AA basketball? And I've seen you at number 4, number 5 in different polls. So you're preseason top 5 in AA basketball. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? What do you think of that?
I really don't pay much attention to that on our side of things because, to be honest with you, I think AA basketball has a lot of parity, and I honestly think that there's about 7, 8, maybe even 9 teams that could be in the mix, and so I'm glad, and I really appreciate that they are recognizing the hard work that these kids put in, and the sports writers and coaches polls and mid-coast sports polls and those things, and it's great for the kids, and it's a good deal. I don't hold a lot of merit to it just for the simple fact that there's teams that aren't ranked that I feel are very good, and so we're going to have to play well every night. And I can see, you look at a team like Central, they lost a lot, but Central's going to surprise some people, and so I just tell our kids every practice, every game. It's good and appreciate that you're being recognized, but understand we weren't recognized last year as a top ranking team, and we felt we could compete with everybody. So we got to keep it in perspective.
Yeah, I'll tell you what. I think you guys have a lot of good players. You got a good program going, and looking forward to seeing you guys how you do in your opening weekend here. Appreciate you coming on the program, Coach. Good luck this weekend.
Hey, thanks a lot, Nate. Thanks for having me, and it'll be a fun year for you guys and everyone out here, I believe.
Yeah, no doubt. Look forward to seeing you guys. That's Darius Buss, Stevens head basketball coach on the boys' side. The Raider boys, I think, are going to be salty. I said it right from the start. I put them in my top 5. I vote in the broadcasters poll that comes out each week, KSFY, KWSN in Sioux Falls. That broadcasters poll goes statewide. I vote in that. I put them at number 4. And I think the Raiders can make as much noise as anybody. But AA, he is right. The head coach knows more than me. He is right. There is a lot of parity. I mean, a lot of parity in AA boys basketball. A guy who has won more games than anybody in high school hoops, Custer's Larry Luchins joins me live next.
Every week you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
It seems the more we grow up, the more we're responsible for. Family, work, the environment. That's why Subaru redesigned the 2014 Forester inside and out, so you can handle it all. It has road-gripping symmetrical all-wheel drive and now gets a fuel-efficient 32 miles per gallon highway. Introducing the all-new 2014 Forester, a vehicle versatile enough for all you are responsible for. Stop into Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com and see all that Subaru has to offer.
At Mel's Auto Body, we are committed to providing complete customer satisfaction through our repairs, competitive prices, and old-fashioned personalized service. This is Kevin Rohrbach. For 25 years, our family has been dedicated to returning your vehicle to its like-new condition. We use state-of-the-art equipment, highly trained techs, and work with all insurance companies to get the job done right, 100% guaranteed. Remember, you have the right to choose your body shop. We hope you choose Mel's Auto Body, located under the Big Red M on South Valley Drive in Rapid City. Check us out online at melsautobody.com.
And 200, 2 and a quarter, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, VP, money get 200, VP, here, no 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
Welcome back, Nate Brown on SD Sports Buzz tonight, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Kim Talk Radio. Rapid City's talk station, streaming live right now at sdsportsbuzz.com. You can watch the show in HD right there. Coming up, Dave Hollenbeck. We'll try and get him. He's got to step into a meeting. We better hurry up, man. We're running behind tonight. I'm not running down a dream. We're running behind. Before Coach Hollenbeck, we'll stay in the Black Hills Conference, and a guy that's won more games than anybody in South Dakota high school basketball, Larry Luchins, head coach of the Custer Wildcats on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, I know you said your phone's about ready to die, but I still got you, so how you doing?
You got me, Nate. I'm still here. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Good. I want to ask you right out of the gate, Coach, the big news, everybody's talked to me about it. Everybody's been saying a lot of stuff about it. This is going to be your last year coaching high school hoops for the Custer Wildcats. How did that come about, the decision process there?
Well, bottom line is that I've got a granddaughter down in Parker, Colorado. Lance's daughter is a freshman, and she's going to be a pretty good basketball player. And I watched her play this summer, and that kind of made my mind that I was going to do it. And if I had any doubt at all, Nate, I went down last night and watched her play, and she's going to be a good basketball player. So yeah, she's going to be starting on the varsity at Legend High School in Parker, Colorado, and so I'm going to be getting down there a few times this year and all the time next year.
You're going to be a big fan, so you're going to be in the seat. You're going to be in the stands as a fan, and as Grandpa watching a great basketball player. Is that going to be tough, though, Coach? You know it probably is. I mean, I know you obviously you were away from the game earlier for a while, but this has been all you've done. What do you think it's going to be like?
Well, it'll be tough. I don't want to quit. I love the game. I love basketball and always have, and I don't want to quit. But she's more important than me coaching. So I want to see her. So I'll be able to do it.
Larry Luchins, head coach of Custer. What do you think is going to be like this final year, Coach? Because then you got all these, it's going to be kind of the Larry Luchins South Dakota World Tour is what I'm going to call it. Everybody's going to be saying this is the last game. This is the last time we're going to see, South Dakota's all-time winningest coach. I don't want to say it'll be distracting for you, but how do you keep your players to stay focused there?
They're focused. They're not worried about what I'm going to be doing next year. They're just worried about what they're going to be doing this year. And so we've got I've got a great bunch of kids. I don't know how great we'll be as a basketball team. I think we're going to be really good, but they're a great bunch of kids. I couldn't coach my last year with a nicer bunch of young men than I've got this year.
Larry Luchins, Custer head coach on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Couple more, and then I'll let you run. What's the key for you guys? Because I look up there, Chase Glazier, obviously your best player, and he's been good for you for the last few years. And then some role players I see, but I think some pretty good role players. What's the key to have success here this year?
Well, I guess it's like anything else. You got to be able to play defense, and we haven't played very good defense the last couple of years. And I think we're going to play better, and you got to rebound. It's a simple game, and put the ball in the basket. And we've got the material to do all those things. And if we just get a little bit of coaching, we might be able to win some games.
Larry, give me your perspective of other West River teams that you're going to run into that you think are going to be some of the top teams. I look at the list. I see you. I see Pine Ridge. I see St. Thomas More. What do you see?
I agree with you totally. I think Pine Ridge. They should be pushing for one of the top teams in the state this year. LeBeau kid's a heck of a basketball player. He can do just about anything. And, Dave always has good basketball at STM, and they're going to be tough. They're going to be right there. In the conference, Spearfish is going to be good. I remember watching Spearfish freshmen last year play, and I thought, holy mackerel, I could start those two kids on the varsity. So, they got good kids. They lost 9 kids, but they got really good kids coming. Red Cloud's going to have a good basketball team. So, Lee's a much better basketball team, and they were young, and their players were young last year, so it's going to be better. We'll have some good basketball in the Black Hills.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. I think all those teams you talk about, Leeds going to be better, and Red Cloud's going to be good. It's going to be a good one this year, and we'll see how it all plays out. Coach, I appreciate you coming on. I know you're stepping in to a meeting, and I appreciate you having time.
Nate, thank you very much.
You bet. There's Larry Luchins, Custer head coach, all-time winningest coach in South Dakota high school basketball. Last year at the helm, last year on the sidelines. And why? He's going to watch his granddaughter become one of the good high school basketball players down in Colorado. Of course, Larry's son, Lance, just an unbelievable player. And obviously the genes are being passed down. Appreciate Larry Luchins on the program tonight. Let's step over and go to the St. Thomas More side of things. Dave Hollenbeck. Want to talk about the all-time winningest coach in South Dakota high school basketball. Larry Luchins over time, but Dave Hollenbeck in the last 8 years. Coach Hollenbeck, live next.
Real South Dakota sports talk for real South Dakota sports fans. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
Plain and simple, we fix cars. Our system works. This is Denny from Al's D&I Repair. Our business is all about fixing cars. Plain and simple. Car repair is hard to understand and sometimes intimidating. That's where we can help. For over 30 years, we've been maintaining and repairing our customers' cars and now their children's cars. Our system works. Our advisors stay in close contact with our techs. Our techs stay current with the industry, and our shop has equipment and resources others do not. What's important to you is important to us. Your car is an investment, and I guarantee you we will treat it as such in helping you stay informed and making sense of a complex piece of equipment. Whether its nameplate is European, USA, or Asian, we can take care of it. Plain and simple, we fix cars. We're Al's D&I Repair. Please call us when you have a need at 348-1447.
Take your car to Al's Domestic and Import Repair. They can repair it correctly regardless of the brand of car. The only shortcut they take is in their name. Al's D&I Repair on Sturgis Road. Call 348-1447 to set up your appointment.
Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
I go to Tom because he's there for me. I have 7 vehicles on the road on a daily basis, and I know that if something goes on, he'll fix it. He'll fix it right the first time, and if we have an issue with a part, he'll stand behind it. I mean, if we had a part fail that he installed, he'd get the new part and he would install it again, and I'd only pay for it once. Everybody that I know that needs work on their car, I say this is the only place I would go.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City. Do you have a healthy heart? People of all ages can have serious heart problems, so how can you be sure? Get peace of mind when you see Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular. With a full battery of cardiovascular test procedures, Dr. Von Whitley can thoroughly assess your heart health and recommend any procedures or lifestyle changes that might be needed. Because Dakota Cardiovascular is an independent clinic, you'll receive a thorough personalized evaluation with no time constraints. Schedule your appointment with Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular PC in Rapid City. Phone 341-1300.
Welcome back, South Dakota Sports Talk Show. Busy night tonight. Man, we're rolling right through it. Larry Luchin's just moments ago, Custer head coach in the Black Hills Conference, going into his last year at the helm for Custer, all-time winningest coach in South Dakota high school basketball history. The guy who's won of the most games in high school boys basketball over the past decade is over in the Black Hills Conference as well. St. Thomas More head coach Dave Hollenbeck joins us on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line here with Nate Brown on SD Sports Buzz tonight, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Kim Talk Radio, and also live streaming at SDSportsBuzz.com. Coach, it's good to get you back on as you get ready for another basketball season. Want to ask you right out of the gate, what's it like each year to have expectations? Because you look at the preseason poll, you guys are number 2, number 3, number 2, and you always lose key players, but always high expectations of your program. What's that like going into the year every year?
Well, I appreciate you having me on first, Nate. We're kind of used to those expectations. I mean, we've been very successful here the last 10, 11, 12 years, and we know those are coming, but it does become a little bit difficult, at times for the kids when we have those early expectations like this, when we really haven't proved ourselves. In the past, we've had some good teams where we started out real well, and you hope each year you're going to start out well, but it's a new year, it's a new group, and as you mentioned, we lost some good seniors. We lost 3 good guys, and Sullivan, Getzinger, and Kuderna from last year's team that won a lot of ball games and finished with a loss in the district tournament to Spearfish. But we have our own high expectations, and I guess this just adds a little bit more to it.
Hey, Coach, when you're used to not only being in state tournaments over the past decade, but winning state championships when you get into the state tournaments. So last year's team gets clipped by a really good Spearfish team in the district. That was one of the best district championship. Well, you and Spearfish obviously might have both been able to get into a state tournament if the scenario was different. But I ask you, when you don't reach a state tournament, and these guys that do come back that are on this team after falling short last year when that bar's been set, does that provide a little extra hunger there, a little extra motivation for your players in the off season?
Yeah, it definitely does. As we talked a little bit earlier here about the expectations. We expect to be in the state tournament, and we didn't make it. So it didn't set well with us, but we had the off season, and the guys have worked pretty hard, and they're coming in now working hard. So it's a new group. It's going to be up to them, what they want to do this year. So it is difficult when we don't get there, and we expect to be there every year.
Hey, Coach, I want to ask you, what's the biggest key? You look at last year's team and this year's team now. What's the biggest key that you're focusing on, making sure to fill some things that you lost last year? What do you need to replace?
Well, we were very solid defensively last year. Sullivan was a great defender. He defended well out on the perimeter, and he could also defend a post player. Kuderna was very quick on his feet, so he could stop dribble penetration, which is very key against good teams. They all put the ball down well and get to the foul line. If you can't stop the penetration, you get put in tough situations. And Getzinger had a really good year till he hurt his back. But he was good defensively and really worked hard in the weight room and got strong and was good on the rebounding side of it. So that's going to be the biggest thing for us. We're going to have to replace all that. And, Getzinger shot the ball pretty well for a big kid last year, and Sullivan was a good perimeter shooter. So there's a number of different areas that we have to make up for, but I guess if there's one thing, it would be the defense.
St. Thomas More head coach Dave Hollenbeck on the program on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line previewing the season. They open up on the road on Friday against Hot Springs. I look at this, and you said last year you thought that might have been the toughest regular season schedule you've ever had or close to it. You played a lot of tough teams. And then I look at this year's schedule. It might be there, at least looking at it on paper. You're playing a lot of non-conference games, Dakota Schoolers and these games that you're normally used to. But then you have Sturgis twice, who could be a ringer in AA hoops. So how do you compare this year's schedule to last year's tough one?
Well, I think it's probably a little bit tougher than last year, just based on having Sturgis on there twice. And then we have our Christmas Classic at the Civic Center in late December, where we're bringing in Ron Colley and Sioux Falls Christian, who are going to be a couple of the top teams in the state. Add to that the Hanson Classic and those two classics that we have in Sioux Falls. And we've still got one more game we're looking for, possibly out of state. So definitely a tough schedule.
Yeah, I'll let you run with this. Who are you going to rely on this year? There's a lot of folks that are wondering, well, who's going to step in, because you lost 3 seniors there, 3 starters. We know Jaron Laurenti's back, a starter. We know Jacob Henderson's back. He was one of your best players last year. But outside of that, people are kind of wondering who's going to step in, who are you going to rely on, and is this going to be a little committee that's trying to fight for playing time?
Yeah, we always rely heavily on our seniors, and that's not going to be any different this year. Those guys have to be our leaders. They've all got some experience now, so we're going to be relying on all 4 of our seniors, Lorente, Henderson, Skinner, and Bachman, to lead us. And now we're just going to have to put some younger kids with them, and hopefully they develop as the year goes on with that senior leadership pushing them along. So right now we're with those seniors.
How about Hot Springs on Friday, a team last year that beat Custer, surprised them in the tournament, and they bring back a couple of guys as well. Hot Springs, normally not a great basketball tradition, but seems like last couple of years they've gotten better. What do you see on Friday night?
They've got a very good coach, and his first year was last year, and this is his second year. So he's had a full off season with these guys, and I expect it to be very competitive. They knocked out Custer last year in the district tournament, and we played them early in the year, and they really came out and hit us in the mouth. They play very solid, aggressive defense. So we're going to have our hands full Friday night. I know that when we go down there, it's a tough place to play, but we're looking forward to it, and that'll get our season started.
Coach, I know you got to step into a meeting. I appreciate you coming on. Thanks.
Thank you.
Dave Hollenbeck, St. Thomas More, the all-time winningest coach in the past decade right there, past 10 years in boys basketball. That's been the story. The Cavaliers have reigned supreme. Didn't make it to the state tournament last year. And that's all. That's all St. Thomas More boys basketball needs is a little more motivation, right? Well, you didn't make the state tournament last year, so now they're a little more motivated. But there's some question marks, and we'll see if those are answered here in the early going. Looking forward to covering their game on Friday night at Hot Springs as the Cavalier boys get back on the hard court. We'll step aside, come right back with a guy who loves hoops, loves analyzing hoops. Patrick Duffy, Rapid City Journal. It's always a hoot. He joins me live next.
Every week, you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
At Mel's Auto Body, we are committed to providing complete customer satisfaction through our repairs, competitive prices, and old-fashioned personalized service. This is Kevin Rohrbach. For 25 years, our family has been dedicated to returning your vehicle to its like-new condition. We use state-of-the-art equipment, highly trained techs, and work with all insurance companies to get the job done right, 100% guaranteed. Remember, you have the right to choose your body shop. We hope you choose Mel's Auto Body, located under the Big Red M on South Valley Drive in Rapid City. Check us out online at melsautobody.com.
It seems the more we grow up, the more we're responsible for. Family, work, the environment. That's why Subaru redesigned the 2014 Forester inside and out, so you can handle it all. It has road-gripping symmetrical all-wheel drive and now gets a fuel-efficient 32 miles per gallon highway. Introducing the all-new 2014 Forester, a vehicle versatile enough for all you are responsible for. Stop into Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and LaCrosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com and see all that Subaru has to offer.
Do you have a healthy heart? People of all ages can have serious heart problems, so how can you be sure? Get peace of mind when you see Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular. With a full battery of cardiovascular test procedures, Dr. Von Whitley can thoroughly assess your heart health and recommend any procedures or lifestyle changes that might be needed. Because Dakota Cardiovascular is an independent clinic, you'll receive a thorough personalized evaluation with no time constraints. Schedule your appointment with Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular PC in Rapid City. Phone 341-1300.
In 200, 2.25, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, 50, money get 250 here, no 75, 275 now, 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
Wednesday night is SD Sports Buzz tonight. Glad to have you on board. Second hour upon us. Nate Brown here, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Kim Talk Radio. Rapid City Stock Station also welcome you in wherever you may be watching at sdsportsbuzz.com. You can watch us live there in HD. And if you miss anybody tonight on the program, we put all the guests right there in podcast tomorrow morning. So in the first hour, Darius Buss, Stevens boys coach, Larry Luchins, Custer head coach, Dave Hollenbeck, St. Thomas More head coach, Zach Horseman. In our Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight, the junior 6'6" player for South Dakota State, former Winter Warrior. Zach Horseman joined us in the first hour. It's a busy first hour. If you missed anybody or you want to hear them all, we'll have them up tomorrow morning. If you miss anybody tonight, you can always catch them tomorrow and the rest of the week there at sdsportsbuzz.com. This hour, Eldon Marshall, White River head boys coach. What do we have, Eldon Marshall? Well, he's built a program down there that is second to none in Class B boys basketball, but they lost everybody. I mean, they lost Krogman. No more Krogmans coming up, at least I don't think. I mean, at least not this year, right? Maybe in the near future. I don't know. Eldon Marshall losing Krogman, Joe Cameron, Gilbert Morrison. I mean, they had some players. What's White River boys basketball going to look like this year? Eldon Marshall coming up. Brandon Candlin on the way. St. Thomas More girls head coach. Well, they started the year in a big way last night. We all know that, right? That's how I open the show, and that's where I want to start with my next guest. My favorite and yours, Rapid City Journal sports writer, Patrick Duffy, back on the program on the Mel's Auto Body Sports line. Patrick, I want to start there. St. Thomas More girls beat Hot Springs 90-6 last night. I heard a lot about it today. I mean, people talking about it and saying what happened and all this and that. I looked into it pretty in depth here, and I'm not sure. Were you covering that game?
I wasn't.
Oh, you weren't. Okay, I didn't know if you were covering that game, but I looked into it. Because people's first jerk reaction, it's, oh man, running up the score, must have been full court pressing, must have been doing this and embarrassing the opponent, all this and that. And that wasn't the case. To me, I open up the show this way. Bad recipe there. Recipe for disaster. Hot Springs, obviously, not where they need to be and want to be. And St. Thomas More, Caitlin Duffy, as a matter of fact, last week on this show said, this St. Thomas More girls team, she didn't want to put any extra pressure on them, but they might be one of the best we've seen, maybe one of the best teams out of all classes this year. So you take one against the other last night, and it was a bad recipe. It wasn't, one of those things that was done on purpose. That's how I see it. But what's your take on it?
Well, no, I completely agree with you. I mean, it was 30-0 at the end of the first quarter, and Moore missed
a handful of layups. Maura Duffy couldn't hit a free throw. It could have been.
Careful now, throwing Duffy. Huh? I mean, geez, you're throwing Duffy.
If she makes a few free throws, and I know Sweetland and Kirsch each missed some layups there in that first quarter. I mean, it could have been a 40-45-0 game at the end of the first quarter. And Moore, I thought Coach Scanlon did a good job of throttling back as much as he could. But I mean, there's only so much they could do. You see that score, and you do kind of think, well, they must have really been running it up, pressing throughout the game. I don't think they didn't press after the first quarter from what I saw on the webcast. You're exactly right. I mean, we're talking about a team that I don't really think. I mean, as far as individual talent in the starting five, I don't think there's a more individually talented team in South Dakota. I don't care what class you're talking about. And they ran into a team that is obviously kind of down, and that's what you got.
Yeah, and by the way, here's how I put it. You know, fans or whoever it may be, and I know you're not going to stop everybody from thinking what they want to think, but you got to put yourself, okay, in the coach's shoes and how you do things. What do you want to do in basketball? Well, you're not, no matter what the score is or the scenario at high school varsity basketball, you're not going to tell your team, well, let's just not shoot, or you can't tell them not to shoot, you can't tell them not to run the offense, and you can't tell them to not work hard and play defense. So, and I said it this way, when Coach Candlin put in the number 2s and the number 3s in some point, those players are even sometimes playing harder because they're trying to impress, trying to fight for a spot on this upper echelon team. So it just, you can't win.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know this. I have no idea what was said on the bench or anything else, but it sure looked to me that there were times where Moore would get a steal and they didn't exactly fly down the court to score. They kind of held it up, and then they passed it around 4, 5, 6, 7 times. And I don't know if that was by design, if somebody told them to do that. But, I mean, there was nothing about that game that looked to me like they were trying to run up the score. I mean, it's just, like you said, it was a bad combination all the way around, and that's what happened.
Hey, should that happen? How does that happen? I guess from a Hot Springs perspective, obviously, as I said, they're just not where they want to be or need to be, and they faced one of the, a great team, but 6 points, that's a struggle. And then obviously giving up 90, I guess, can I sit back and I don't know, do I put 4 or 5 guys just in the key and make St. Thomas More try and make threes? I don't think they score 90 points if that's the case, but I'm not going to give up any more layups.
Well, I don't think that. I mean, yeah, if you can get back and set your defense, but if you can't score on the one end, I mean, there's no.
I don't know what the answer is.
It's a team. It's pretty simple. I mean, you got a team that has a whole bunch of kids that are in the gym all the time, year round, basically, and you got a team that obviously their kids aren't in the gym very often, and that's what happens.
Patrick Duffy, Rapid City Journal on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Okay, speaking about St. Thomas More after last night's win on the girls' side, you obviously think that they have high-level talent. We all know that. Everybody's put them at number 1. Everybody's pretty much signed, sealed, deliver, man, the state title. That can be a dangerous game. I'm not there yet. I know they're a great team, but I look at Class A. There's some other teams, and you know the game of basketball, Patrick. I mean, you can get clipped in a game. We've seen that happen. So is it a possibility that St. Thomas More, kind of needs to be careful in how they go about things here? They can run the table, I'm sure, but there's also a chance, and I don't think it's a distant chance that there's some other good teams around the state.
Absolutely. I mean, I don't think there's a team that's better than them, but it's basketball. I mean, it's not baseball. It's not even football to an extent. I mean, it's not fantasy sports. You can't just put 5 people that have big numbers out there. And yes, STM has 5 kids that they can start, and even 1 or 2 coming off the bench that are very good players. But basketball is about a little bit more than just, hey, we've got all this individual talent. It's how it comes together. Team chemistry is huge. I thought that, to be perfectly honest, I thought STM was the most talented team in their class last year, and it didn't work out for them. So, yeah, there's a long way to go.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Let's switch to boys basketball. I just want to get your take because there's a lot of teams to talk about out here. Man, you're living a dream. All we're talking about is hoops here tonight, and then I'm going to let you run. But on the boys' side, I go into the Double-A ranks. I talked to Darius Buss tonight. I think he's got to be loving it. Getting ready for his second year. This team kind of fits his MO, defensive intensity, up and down, quick players. He's kind of got that. Not a lot of huge size, but he's got the McLeod kid that can go inside and out. Steven Schaefer, one of the best players in the state out of all classes. Stevens, where do you rank them? When you look at them, I think they can be good in Double-A boys basketball. There's some parity there. How good's Stevens?
I think they're as good as I think talent-wise they're as good as anybody. I really do. I think both Stevens and Sturgis should go into any game that they play this year thinking there's no reason whatsoever that we can't play with you and beat you. And I don't know how they'll. And I mean, when you've been below 500 for as long as those two programs have, it takes a little. I mean, I think it'll take a little bit of an adjustment to dealing with expectation, maybe. But yeah, I don't see. I'm excited. I think that it's the first time in a while that we've had a couple of Double-A teams, and I think Central will be decent too. I think that it's not going to be coming out here for a road trip for teams from Sioux Falls. It's not going to be a cakewalk.
No, I agree, because Central's kind of getting lost in the shuffle just because I know they lost some players as well. But I look at them and I go, okay, Jake Seals, Josh Dotson, Nathan Miller, who started last year quite a bit. They've got some players back, too. I don't think that's going to be an easy deal when it comes to Central playing Sturgis or Stevens. Sturgis and Stevens, I think, a little better on paper, but Central's not bad.
No, absolutely. I think there's going to be some good basketball played out here this year.
How about in Class A? I had Larry Luchins on. Obviously, Custer has been always in the mix in the Black Hills Conference. They haven't been able to get over the top of St. Thomas More in quite a while, but Custer's got some talent. Larry Luchins, always a great coach. How about Custer, St. Thomas More? You throw into the mix in Class A out here. I'm even going to throw in Pine Ridge. They look very good. Maybe even a Red Cloud. How do you analyze those teams?
I think you hit on the three. I mean, I think Pine Ridge, STM, and Custer will all be pretty good. I think Custer with Glazier. Just talking to Coach Luchins. I mean, he said that Glazier's shooting the ball as well as anybody he's ever coached, and that's a mouthful from Luchins. I mean, he's obviously had some kids that can stroke it down there, and so when you got a 6'5" kid that can stretch the defense out that far, I mean, I think Glazier's going to have a big year, and they've got some other nice pieces. I mean, if the big kid can come around for them, they could be pretty good. I think STM will be improved this year. I think they have a chance of being very good if some of their younger players develop. And I think, obviously, I mean, Jacob Henderson, everybody knows he's a good player. I think Jaron Laurenti improved leaps and bounds. I think he's a lot better player this year than he was last year, and I think that STM will be good. And obviously, I mean, Pine Ridge, they got a big kid transfer in from Little Wound to go along with LeBeau, so they're going to be huge up front. LeBeau's as good as any big guy in the state. I mean, he's got a great basketball mind. He's got great hands. He's big. So I mean, they're at the A level as well. I mean, there's going to be some good basketball played out here.
Yeah, some really good teams, I think. And by the way, the region's, different now. When we're talking teams, basically Red Cloud and is out of there. They're not in St. Thomas More's side. So you basically have St. Thomas More Custer battling to go to state, and I guess Pine Ridge battling maybe a Red Cloud. But I looked at it and I go, boy, Pine Ridge is on the clean path to state, and it seemed like St. Thomas More might be, but I think Custer could be giving them a test. If you have to rank those three, give me a ranking, man. Give me a ranking on those three right now: Pine Ridge, Custer, St. Thomas More.
I would go, well, I mean, everybody will scream that I'm a homer on this one, but I would say STM 1, Pine Ridge 2, Custer 3.
Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Well, I will move on. One more question. Eldon Marshall's coming on after you. He's had such success at White River. Do you know anything about White River? These are going to be JV players. These are going to be guys that, well, I think are good. That's what Eldon Marshall has told me, but they just haven't had an opportunity to get to play because White River's been so much better than everyone else. So what about White River? I don't think they totally fall off the map, but am I wrong?
Well, I don't think they're going to fall off at all. off the map at all. I mean, I think obviously it'll take a little time for some of the guys to step up into larger roles. But I think when you're talking about White River, I think you're talking about a program that's similar to a Madison or a St. Thomas More. I mean, these kids, they're all in the gym all the time playing against each other. So these kids that we don't know, they've still been going up against the Wyatt Krogmans and the Joe Camerons and the Gilbert Morrisons and Nick Walms for the last 5 years. I've been playing with them every day. So I don't think, do I think they'll be as good? No, probably not. But do I think they're going to drop off a whole lot? No, I think they'll be right there at the end of the year.
Man, you're just on the same page with me. This isn't as much fun. This isn't just quite as much fun. I wonder what I can think of to kind of get you fired up. Hey, by the way, did you go to USD Wyoming the other night?
I did. That was a heck of a game.
Yeah, that was neat to see. You're talking about, boy, athleticism. You had some high flyers. You had a really good game. I thought that was great basketball. I hope we get to see that happen a little more often out here.
Yeah, I agree. I was all I could think as I was watching that game was that I would love to go to a Wyoming practice and see a dunk contest between Larry Nance, that Adams kid, and what was the other guy?
Yeah, the big guy, Derek Burke Jr., number 11. Yeah.
Yeah. That little guy, Adams, I have not seen too many guys get off the floor like that in my entire life.
By the way, and this is a little side note, I could tell you off the air. We don't have to, but this is a programming note. So fans that listen to this program, they would like to see this. If you want to see a nice dunk, you want to search it on YouTube. Adams, okay? Search that Adams kid, Josh Adams, right, from Wyoming. When he was in high school down in Colorado, he had a tip-in jam to win a game at the buzzer that I think you'll enjoy. Check it out. Josh Adams, search it YouTube in high school, and you'll see it.
I'll look it up.
All right. Thanks, Patrick. I appreciate it.
Anytime, Nick.
Patrick Duffy, Rapid City Journal, talking hoops. He's in his heyday. You can just tell. He's in his heyday. All right. We'll get him focused on something else next time. Coming back, talking with St. Thomas More girls head basketball coach. They've got all the expectations in the world this year, and last night's win didn't help those expectations lower at all. Brandon Candlin, St. Thomas More girls head coach of the number 1 ranked team in Class A, live next.
You're listening to SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters.
At Mel's Auto Body, we are committed to providing complete customer satisfaction through our repairs, competitive prices, and old-fashioned personalized service. This is Kevin Rohrbach. For 25 years, our family has been dedicated to returning your vehicle to its like-new condition. We use state-of-the-art equipment, highly trained techs, and work with all insurance companies to get the job done right, 100% guaranteed. Remember, you have the right to choose your body shop. We hope you choose Mel's Auto Body, located under the Big Red M on South Valley Drive in Rapid City. Check us out online at melsautobody.com.
Smoking Gun Shooting Range and Training Center is now open for business. It's Western South Dakota's only indoor public shooting facility
and offers 12 lanes of the latest technology for pistol, rifle, and shotgun live firing.
And a virtual live training simulator with hundreds of scenarios. They also offer firearms instruction, ammo, accessories, new and used firearms, and gun rentals to try before you buy. Call Smoking Gun Range and Training Center, 791-3656, and check them out at SmokingGunSD.com.
Don't miss out on a full stock of .22, .223, and handgun ammo on hand now.
It seems the more we grow up, the more we're responsible for. Family, work, the environment. That's why Subaru redesigned the 2014 Forester inside and out, so you can handle it all. It has road-gripping symmetrical all-wheel drive and now gets a fuel-efficient 32 miles per gallon highway. Introducing the all-new 2014 Forester, a vehicle versatile enough for all you are responsible for. Stop into Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and La Crosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com and see all that Subaru has to offer.
In 200, 2.25, 2 to the bid, 20 bomb, VP, money get 200, VP here, no 75, 275, now 3.
Hi, folks. Kevin McPherson Auction Company. We can turn your property to cash. We can sell your personal property and your real estate at auction. A family business for 64 years and counting. We've sold several millions of dollars in property over the years. We're happy to consult with you on your auction plans. Let our selling experience work for you. Call McPherson Auction, 605-348-1369. Visit us on our web at McPhersonAuction.com.
Sold it here for $575.
When it comes to shopping for a used vehicle, you can find good, you can find reliable, and you can find affordable. But it isn't too often that you find all three in one vehicle, except when you shop at Pro Auto Care. At Pro Auto Care, all vehicles are inspected and serviced on-site by ASE certified auto technicians, so you know your vehicle will be reliable. And they're affordable, too. Many priced under $4,000. Check them out at Pro Auto Care, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City, 342-0857.
Every week, you hear something in the news about low interest rates, and some of the talk can be downright confusing or even misleading. How do you separate the hype from the truth? Call Premier Home Mortgage. They can help you refinance your home or help you with that credit card debt. And they'll break it down for you in terms we can all understand and not mumbo jumbo. Give Premier Home Mortgage a call right now at 716-7373 or go online to premierhomemortgage.com. Premier Home Mortgage. Fast, simple, and smart.
Hammer and a nail, stacking them bales. I'm dog tired by the 5 o'clock hour, but I'm ready to raise some hell. And Jesse's getting ready, I'm gassing up the Chevy. I'm gonna pick her up at 6, I hope she's gonna wear them jeans with the tear that her mama never fixed. The moon comes up and the sun...
Hey, welcome back. SD Sports Buzz tonight. Heavy hoops tonight, man. It's been good. Larry Luchins, Custer head coach moments ago, entering his last year at the helm. He's going to call it quits. South Dakota's all-time winningest coach. Wants to go watch his granddaughter become a superstar in Colorado. And believe me, she'll become a superstar. She's, basically starting at a pretty good program there in Parker, Colorado as a freshman. So Larry Luchins moments ago talking about entering his last year. Dave Hollenbeck on the show tonight. St. Thomas More boys trying to get back to where they are used to being in the state tournament, and namely in the state title game. They fell short last year, didn't make the state tournament. Coach Hollenbeck and the Cavaliers start on the road at Hot Springs on Friday. Also talked to Darius Buss tonight, Stevens head boys coach. Zach Horseman in our Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight, the former Winter Warrior and current junior at South Dakota State playing for the Jacks. Jacks off to a rough start, man, without Nate Walters. Jacks are 4-7, but I will not count them out yet. Patrick Duffy has counted the Jacks out. He did a long time ago when Nate Walters went to the NBA. He said, Jackrabbit's going to be terrible. Well, he's looking more correct than I am at this point, but I'm not counting out the Jacks. They're going to get into conference play. They'll be all right. I think they'll be in the mix. Can they beat North Dakota State? Those are kind of the team. North Dakota State's really, really good, and I'm not going to count the Jacks out. Zach Horseman joined us moments ago. If you miss any interviews tonight, a reminder, go to sdsportsbuzz.com tomorrow morning. We put the podcast up of all the guests, so if you can't catch them tonight, catch them right there tomorrow and the rest of the week on sdsportsbuzz.com. Coming up next, Eldon Marshall, White River head boys basketball coach. I told you it was heavy hoops. Well, why not? High school basketball season getting underway this week. It really did last night for St. Thomas More, number 1 ranked girls basketball team in Class A. Beat Hot Springs 90-6. Their head coach, Brandon Candleton, on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. Coach, people talk to me about it today. I'm sure people talk to you about it today. A lot of buzz. People see their instant reaction to the score on the news last night and in the paper and everything else. It was 90-6. Man, oh man, what happened? What did St. Thomas More do? And I said, when you actually look into it here, and people that were at the game, and when you look at what you did, you didn't full court press. You took out your starters. You tried doing things, I think, to try and respect the game and the opponent. And obviously, it was just a mismatch there, and you guys came out on top, 90-6. So I ask you, how tough was that? I said, I bet you that's tough on, obviously it's tough on the Hot Springs coach, but it's also tough on you as St. Thomas More's coach. What was that like last night?
It is tough. It's one of those things that, you do feel bad for the other team, and at the same time, we're trying to make sure that every time we step on the floor, we're getting better. And they're at the moment a program that has a lot of new girls and not very many numbers, and so they were in a position that knowing last year, I think the score wasn't quite like that, but we knew that one, we're returning 4 starters, and a lot of experience coming back there. So we tried to just do some of the little things that we've been trying to work on. The other tough thing is that you can't tell them not to play basketball while they're on the floor. And like you said, we tried to limit the starting 5, and then the next 5 that I have, or next 6 or 7 that I have, they're still very solid players. So we still continue to play basketball and tried to get better, and we rolled the punches, I guess.
Yeah, I want to ask you, when people say, man, what happened? Why'd you run up the score, all this and that? How do you react to that? I mean, that's got to be a tough thing, because you obviously need to get better. You stepped off the gas in all ways that you could, but how do you react to, it's a 90-6 win. A win obviously should be a good thing, but it almost turns out to be a negative thing. So how do you move past that?
It is, it's just, I suppose, one of those things, too, that, hopefully if you were there or anybody watched it on SD Sports Buzz, that, you realize that we didn't press. We pressed the first 30, 40 seconds of the game. After that, it was just, one of the things we wanted to work on. We need to continue to get better defensively, and I think we did that very well. But at the same time, on the offensive end, we were to the point that, if you make a steal, we weren't going for the layups. We want to work through things. We want people to get ball touches, and we wanted to, work on some of the other things. So, again, if they watch the game, they understand that we weren't trying to drive it down anybody's throat, but we still had, you still got to tell the girls to play. It's hard to get on the floor and not play.
Yeah, no question about it, and that's kind of how I open up the show tonight. You're going to tell your players to play hard, still got to play defense, you still got to score if it's there, still got to improve. So obviously just a bad recipe there last night with how good your program is this year, and Hot Springs in a rebuilding mode. Brandon Candle and St. Thomas More head coach tonight on the Mel's Auto Body Sports Line. You're getting ready for tomorrow night, probably going to be a little different story. A Spearfish team that knocked you out of state contention last year. They lost some great players, no question about it, but look at their roster. They bring back a couple or 3 that made an impact on that varsity level. The Spearfish team has improved. They've got a good head coach. What do you expect tomorrow night, going from last night, obviously the opponent not as tough, and then it's going to be a different story tomorrow night?
It'll be a lot different story. It's turned into a nice little rivalry the last couple of years here, being able to face Spearfish. And like you say, they lost 6 very solid seniors that contributed greatly to them last year. And they're going to bring back a few that have got that experience. But, one of the things I think is that so far Coach Slappy does very well is he gets them to play aggressive. He gets them to work hard. And we know that it's certainly going to be a different story than last night. But, I think they're always prepared to play, especially play us. And that's one of those things we're looking forward to here early season, is see where we're at and what we need to work on still as we continue to move through the season.
Coach, you've got huge expectations, and you've had that now over the years. I mean, you win that state title a couple of years ago, could have got there again last year, I think, if, you and Spearfish are very good in the same district, so, you both can't go, but you've had these high expectations, but this year it seems like even more. We're, people saying St. Thomas More, the best girls team in all classes, and I know you guys you have great players, great system, great program, but boy, it starts getting into a dangerous territory when you've only played one game.
Yeah, that's one thing that we got to tone out. Certainly, I want to tone out is that I don't know that we're the best team. That's when that's why you play the game. You need to prove that. Do we have the talent? Yeah, I think we have the talent, and I think we have the capability of doing great things, but. Again, to me, that's why you play the game. It's tough for me to think that we have the best team in the state. That can happen any night and for any team, and that's why we step on the floor again and play it.
Yeah, how about that target on your back? It seems like it's getting bigger. It's gotten bigger this year. What's the mentality of these girls? I mean, you've got some really talented players, some, Maura Duffy, Alexis Sweetland, Kira Duffy. I mean, you've got some really good players. How do they, do you think, mentality-wise, deal with the big target on their back? You've got one.
Well, we talk about, if you want to say that target on our back, but it doesn't matter how big that target is. We look at what happened last year, and we didn't accomplish the goals that we had, and so we're more focused on what we need to do, not what everybody else needs to do. And, I think that's the motivation factor every time we step into practice, prepare for the game mentally. It's not about the target that might be on our back. What do we need to do to take care of the next game?
Coach, I'll let you run with this. Brandon Candlin, St. Thomas More girls coach of the number 1 ranked team in Class A basketball. How fun is it, Coach? Ended on a positive note here on the interview. How fun is it each day in practice to have this group of players? I mean, 4 starters back from last year, talent up and down. I mean, shooting the ball, handling the ball, defensively, rebounding. How fun is it in practice and getting ready for this year?
It makes my job a lot easier. I know that. When you got a talented group like that, and not to mention, again, I'm talking about we have 12 solid girls that are on the roster, and then at any time, I think we've got a very talented group, and that's going to be important down the road. I think all the experience coming back and watching them grow and continue to grow and have the successful season, but from top to bottom, those younger girls being able to push the older girls and the experienced girls and get that experience to realize that, hey, you're playing with some of the best girls in the state. That just continues to help our program build and grow.
I look forward to it. Covering the game tomorrow night should be an interesting one. Spearfish got the better of St. Thomas More last year twice, and when it counted in the district tournament, and they open up Spearfish after the Big Hot Springs win. They go up to Spearfish tomorrow. Head coach of the Cavaliers, Brandon Candlin. Thanks, Coach. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, Nate. Appreciate it.
All right, Brandon Candlin, St. Thomas More girls head coach. Really, really good team this year. They've been really good for a while now as well. And but, everybody's saying in Class A, and I think it's a dangerous thing to say. I've heard a lot of the media saying it. And, yes, I voted St. Thomas More girls as number 1 as well in my preseason poll, and as I vote in the broadcasters poll. So, I mean, that's a no-brainer right now. But just hold it a second, because you look into Class A basketball, you can't crown St. Thomas More yet. Pine Ridge played in the state championship last year. Bring back a lot of good players. I saw them personally. So, Pine Ridge, very good this year. West Central, bring back a lot of good players. They were in the state tournament, beat Spearfish last year in the state tournament. So West Central, very good. Winter, I think, is going to be very good. And then kind of a sleeper, Elk Point Jefferson, going to be solid. So just hang on a minute. St. Thomas More girls, really good. Number 1 until somebody takes them down, no question in my mind. But Class A basketball, you just can't sign, seal, and deliver it yet. I mean, it's basketball. It's how the ball falls. If it's not falling a certain day, I mean, St. Thomas More, nobody's invincible. Believe that. Brandon Candlin doing a nice job. Appreciate him coming on the program. We'll wrap it up next with White River boys coach Eldon Marshall. Speaking of a program that seemed like they've been invincible, now are they in rebuilding mode? How good are they going to be? Lost everybody from a state championship team last year. Eldon Marshall, head coach of White River, next.
Smoking Gun Shooting Range and Training Center is now open for business. It's Western South Dakota's only indoor public shooting facility and offers 12 lanes of the latest technology for pistol, rifle, and shotgun live firing, and a virtual live training simulator with hundreds of scenarios. They also offer firearms instruction, ammo, accessories, new and used firearms, and gun rentals to try before you buy. Call Smoking Gun Range and Training Center 791-3656 and check them out at smokinggunsd.com.
Don't miss out on a full stock of .22, .223, and handgun ammo on hand now. Do you have a healthy heart? People of all ages can have serious heart problems, so how can you be sure? Get peace of mind when you see Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular. With a full battery of cardiovascular test procedures, Dr. Von Whitley can thoroughly assess your heart health and recommend any procedures or lifestyle changes that might be needed. Because Dakota Cardiovascular is an independent clinic, you'll receive a thorough personalized evaluation with no time constraints. Schedule your appointment with Dr. Kelly Von Whitley at Dakota Cardiovascular PC in Rapid City. Phone 341-1300. Your sports, your show. This is SD Sports Buzz Tonight with Nate Brown on Kim Radio. Talk that matters. Listen to what Pro Auto Care customers have to say.
I go to Tom because he's there for me. I have 7 vehicles on the road on a daily basis, and I know that if something goes on, he'll fix it. He'll fix it right the first time, and if we have an issue with a part, he'll stand behind it. I mean, if we had a part fail that he installed, he'd get the new part and he would install it again, and I'd only pay for it once. Everybody that I know that needs work on their car, I say this is the only place I would go.
Pro Auto Care. Phone 342-0857, 1891 Rand Road, Rapid City.
Smoking Gun Shooting Range and Training Center is now open for business. It's Western South Dakota's only indoor public shooting facility and offers 12 lanes of the latest technology for pistol, rifle, and shotgun live firing, and a virtual live training simulator with hundreds of scenarios. They also offer firearms instruction, ammo, accessories, new and used firearms, and gun rentals to try before you buy. Call Smoking Gun Range and Training Center, 791-3656, and check them out at SmokingGunSD.com.
Don't miss out on a full stock of .22, .223, and handgun ammo on hand now.
It seems the more we grow up, the more we're responsible for. Family, work, the environment. That's why Subaru redesigned the 2014 Forester inside and out, so you can handle it all. It has road-gripping symmetrical all-wheel drive and now gets a fuel-efficient 32 miles per gallon highway. Introducing the all-new 2014 Forester, a vehicle versatile enough for all you are responsible for. Stop into Courtesy Subaru at the corner of Omaha and LaCrosse Streets or at courtesysubaru.com and see all that Subaru has to offer.
Welcome back. Nate Brown, SD Sports Buzz Tonight, 106.7 FM, 1150 AM, Kim Talk Radio, Rapid City's talk station. Welcome you in on SDSportsBuzz.com. You can watch us live there every Wednesday night. South Dakota's #1 sports website. That's where you can also listen to all the guests every week that we get on the program. Tonight, it's been pretty much all high school hoops all the time. Threw in a great Benson Sports Training Player Spotlight brought to you by BensonSportsTraining.com with Zach Horseman, who joined us from Brookings. Former Winter Warrior, South Dakota Mr. Basketball, now a 6'6" junior for South Dakota State Jackrabbit men's basketball team. Zach Horseman earlier on. So it's been a busy show tonight and getting your high school hoops fix. Got to get all the previews done here tonight. Still got a few coaches we got to track down for next week as we'll stay plugged in. But tonight, Larry Luchin's joined us in Custer. Dave Hollenbeck, St. Thomas More. Darius Buss, Rapid City Stevens. I think they're going to be salty in boys hoops and AA hoops. Brandon Candlin just moments ago, St. Thomas More girls head coach, is their #1 in Class A. And quite the stir last night, I guess. And I think wrongfully stirring up people's emotions, because we talked about it. St. Thomas More, yes, they beat Hot Springs 90-6, but if you got wound up about that, I mean, you need to look into it further. It's one of those things I feel strongly about that. St. Thomas More took out their starters, okay? They took out their starters early on, didn't press. When they did get a steal, they didn't go down to the other floor in a fast break. They kind of, really stepped off the gas pedal. And so the number 2s, number 3s were in. It's one of those things. Do you tell kids to stop shooting? Do you tell kids to stop playing defense? And you really don't. It was just obviously a tough scenario with Hot Springs and definitely a rebuilding program there on the girls' side at St. Thomas More. Just so good right now with all their players that they have back. It's good to talk to Brandon Candlin, kind of get that whole perspective there, because I knew it, as you look into it, but boy, there was kind of a buzz here over the last night when that score came in, and then people talking about it today. But got to look into it a little bit further instead of overreacting. A guy that, by the way, here's a guy that's won some games, really lopsided, and might have a little bit of experience with reacting of how to coach those games and how tough that can be. White River's been so good in boys basketball. State champions again from last year. Eldon Marshall, head coach of the White River boys basketball team, back on the show tonight on the Mills Auto Body Sports Line. Eldon Marshall on the program. Eldon, I think I might be right when I say that. You've obviously, blown out some teams that just aren't quite to your level. You've had experience like that St. Thomas More girls team kind of had last night. I said for Coach Candlin, probably one of the toughest things that he's had to do to try and figure out, well, what do we do? We want to respect the game, want to respect the opponent, but how do you react when you've had those certain scenarios?
Well, we've never won 90-6, so that's a little different than anything we've experienced. But
you've had some blowouts, though. Yeah, not 90-6, but you've had some blowouts, right? I mean, pretty significant.
Yeah, and I think you do what I think Coach did with his girls. I think you play your it's an opportunity for the kids, that'll probably be playing next year and the year after that to go in and play the way you want to play. And it's, for me, I think for us, I think we we want to still try and play like we do. You might want to take off the press and things like that, but you still want your kids to, play as hard and as fast as they can, and quick and things like that. So, what can you do? I mean, you don't want to, like you said, disrespect anybody, but you still got to go out and I think and let those kids play, because they put in the time and they practice and they you want them to do what you've coached them to do. And if you're playing somebody that you get a score like that, I guess that's just how it is. That's just what's going to happen. There's been talk of a mercy rule or letting the clock run in the last quarter or whatnot whenever a score reaches a certain point, but there's just been talk about that, and I know, but that's something that makes you think about that even more. So, like I said, I think you just let them play, and you don't put on the press or anything like that, but you still gotta let the kids play.
Yeah, interesting perspective, Coach. I wanted to get your take on it because, I wanted to know, what was your reaction in your neck of the woods when, people saw that score? Obviously, there was some buzz around here, but people's instant reactions aren't quite correct. I mean, when people that were at the game, when you actually look at the game, no pressing, no starters, all this and that, it just still got out of hand. What was the reaction in White River in that area? Any?
Well, no, there wasn't really much of a reaction that I've heard, or anybody talking about it. I didn't hear anything about it actually. So I think it's just something that it happens, and then that is the first reaction when you do see a score like that. I know, like last year at the LNI, the Pioneer Ridge girls had a game like that where they they could have won. I think they were up by the score worse than that, and it could have been even worse. But so that there hasn't been much talk here, I know about it, but there has been talk about scores like that happening before, and that first reaction as well. They probably were running it up, and from the sound of it, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, I know it's one of those things. By the way, I can't remember that score at the LNI. I think it was like 100-2 or something like that with Pine Ridge last year. By the way, the Pine Ridge girls going to be very, very good again. Let's talk about your program now. That's why I had you on. Wanted to discuss White River boys basketball. It's been the pinnacle, man. You guys have been to the mountain numerous times in Class B boys basketball. Nobody's been able to take you down. Now the Joe Camerons, the Wyatt Krogmans, the Gilbert Morrisons, the Nick Wallens, these guys are gone, and you got to fill some holes. So this is definitely a different approach this year. What's this like, Coach, with some new guys that you've seen what they can do, and they played in your JV program, things of this nature, but it's got to be a little different. You don't have the heavy hitters along board this year.
Yeah, we'll definitely miss those seniors from last year. Matthew Gillen, Corey Rogers, and all those guys. We'll definitely miss them. In any program where you have guys, you have that continuity of guys that they play each other, they play with each other, they know each other, they know what to expect in practice, and they push each other every day, and we'll miss that. But and like you said, it's different. Every year is different. Even last year was different from the year before. But we did have that continuity, and like I said, they have that. I think more than anything, that camaraderie, and they just knew how to play with each other. And it really showed on the court. They're really great friends off the court, and I think that's something that we're going to have to build on this year. I think that's probably one of the biggest things is, having that camaraderie, that chemistry. And I think any year a coach, that's probably one of the biggest concerns, is when you're going in, do the guys, respect each other, and do they, how well do they play with each other? How long have they played together? And these guys that we have this year, we have a few seniors, so they know, and like you said, and a few of them been JV, but we do have a couple seniors this year that were, top 2-3 guys off the bench, so, and one starter. So that's definitely a positive for us, but, going in, it is different, but the guys know the expectations and of themselves, of each other, and of the team. So our goals haven't changed. I do know that. We sit down and talk about what we want to accomplish as a team every year, and the goals are the same, and the guys think we can accomplish a lot this year if everything goes as well as it can. We got to be healthy. A few of the guys that we do have coming back didn't play at all last year, really. That'll be starting this year. Guys like Bubba Young, he's a senior. He didn't play at all last year, and because of an injury. Link Tucker didn't play at all last year. He'll be a junior. Bubba's a senior, and because of an injury. And Justin Folkers will be a junior, and he didn't play at all last year because of an injury. So we got guys stepping in. As you said, and that'll be the difference. They're stepping in. They really don't have that experience, and because of those injuries, it'll be they're still even fighting their way back to being 100% even. So that'll be a battle in itself right there. But I think once we get going, once we see what once we face some tests, we'll see where we're at, and we'll know what to improve on.
White River head coach Eldon Marshall tonight. Couple more, and I'll let you run. Head coach of the they've won state championships. It seemed like it was starting to get easy, but it's never easy. He's built quite a program down in White River in high school boys basketball in Class B. How big is the talent gap, Coach? That's the perspective I want from you. You've seen a lot of these guys. We haven't, because they haven't been able to hit the floor as much because you had all of these great senior players. So is the talent gap significant? Where are you going to have to improve? Is it down low? Is it guard play? You had some great guards. Is it shooting the basketball? Where's the biggest talent gap difference from these guys we don't know about to the state champions last year?
Well, this year we'll be actually bigger as a team. We'll have that height down low on the inside. We got, like I said, Justin Folkers. He's a legit 6'8" height for us, and so that's a big plus. And Bubba Young's about 6'3", 6'4". Link Tucker, he's more of a forward, but he's 6'3", 6'4". And Tavis Burbank, our star, he's 6'2". He plays big. He's a great rebounder, just has a knack for the ball, and So it's going to be our guard play. That's, you lose a guy like Wyatt at the point guard. That's a big loss for any team. He's just a leader out there, ball handler, and just knows how to. He controls the tempo of the game and in practice and everything, and he pushes everybody. And he's just a solid player, and we're going to miss that at point guard. But we got like a Justin Prue. He played against him and Nick Wan last year, so he's a junior, and he's about 5'8", 5'9". So he's got some quickness. And Trey Hyatt also came off for the bench last year, so those will be our two main guards and ball handlers. So that area that's definitely an area we'll need to improve on this year. And the shooting. Nick Wan, when he shot an open shot, we knew it was more often than not going in. So we're missing Joe Cameron. He can shoot it too. And go lights out and spurts when we need him to. And we're thinking Link Tucker can fill that void a bit. Travis Burbank can fill that scoring void a bit, and we're going to see where Bubba Young and Link Tucker and Justin Folkers and those guys can step up in that regard. So that's what's going to be exciting for me as a coach, is to see where we're at in that regard and see these guys grow, because they've been working real hard. And no matter what happens, that's what matters. But when you do work hard and you combine that with that talent that we do have, we have the talent. We just got to go out and, like I said, play together and get that experience. And I think we'll be fine.
I look forward to seeing, your program again this year, because there's been some people that said, they lost everybody. There's no way that they're going to be able to fill all those gaps and be as good and be a state title contender. And I kind of went out on a limb. I didn't put pressure on you, Coach. I just went out on a limb and said, yeah, I think this program has developed. I think there's players we don't know about necessarily, and there's some guys that we do know about from last year that are going to be pretty darn good this year. So you're not starting the year ranked at number one like we've seen, but it wouldn't surprise me if you're in the mix. We'll get you back on here in a couple of weeks and talk about the early part of the year. Appreciate you coming on tonight, Coach. Thanks.
You bet. Thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
You bet. White River head boys coach done a nice job. Big-time basketball program. Eldon Marshall down there at White River in Class B boys basketball. Don't count them out. That's all I'm saying. Maybe they're not as good right away. That's, on paper for sure. Lost a lot of talent. I haven't seen a Class B boys team that loaded for a long time, but don't count them out this year. It's a good basketball program down there. Thanks for listening tonight. We're out the door. All the guests tonight are on SDSportsBuzz.com tomorrow morning. If you missed anybody, we put them in podcast form. It was a heavy high school dose tonight of all the previews as we get started this week. Go to SDSportsBuzz.com tomorrow morning. Listen to all the podcasts. I'll tweet them out as well. You can follow me on Twitter at Nate Sports Guy. SD Sports Buzz tonight here with Nate Brown. Thanks for listening. Back next Wednesday, better than ever. Have a good week.
You've been listening to SD